Hey guys, and welcome back to the J2O channel. And this is your match preview of West Ham versus Chelsea tomorrow lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff. Yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. But we will be there. You will see a match review tomorrow, and we are back with the content. Thank you to everyone who watched my last video. In regards to the review after we beat Bournemouth 1-0 away from home. It seems that my videos do well when we win games of football. So hopefully Chelsea can win tomorrow, and hopefully we have another banger out. So yeah, if you're new here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Share the video around to your friends, your family, your dog, your nan, everybody. You know what I'm saying? J2O, road to 150 subscribers. Let's go. But yeah, tomorrow we face West Ham United, and I must say, obviously it's at 12:30, like I said beforehand. In general, this is like a notion with the big six clubs. Like, they don't like playing at 12:30 over the years. Big six clubs seem to struggle on a 12:30 kickoff. I don't know why. Um, to be fair, Man United played 12:30 last week and they beat Southampton, but Southampton are just an awful side, so we don't have to get into that. But yeah, hopefully that's one hoodoo we get over tomorrow. And another hoodoo, and more importantly, this one, is beating West Ham themselves. Now, we've not beaten West Ham in the league since 2017. Now, I say that specifically because what I mean by 2017, because people watch this video and go, oh, what about 2021? There was no crowd. So what I'm trying to say is the last time we beat West Ham United, where there were fans in the stadium, was 2017. And that was with, I think we beat them 3-0, or was it 2-0 that day? I forgot. But it was one of those, Diego Costa scored that game, and I'm pretty sure we scored one of the best counter-attacking goals of that season with Hazard. I think it was Kante, then Hazard, then Pedro, went back to Hazard, and we scored. That was the last time we beat West Ham when they had fans in the stadium. 2017. We don't have a good record there. To say the least, we have an awful record at West Ham. Last year, we lost 3-1 in that ground. I remember Caicedo had a horror show and conceded a penalty. If you remember, Enzo Fernandez missed a penalty that day as well. Oh my days. The only good thing about that day was Carney Chukwuemeka scoring, and we thought after he scored that goal, that was going to be his season, but he got riddled with injuries, and it's unfortunate to see where Carnes has sort of headed since that game, because I really do believe he's a talented player. But yeah, man, previous season we drew 1-1. Jao Felix's first start. Do you remember when we was all gassed seeing Mudryk start for the first time, Madueke starting for the first time, Enzo, Jao Felix starting all together, and we was like, oh my days, look at this super team we're building on the Graham Potter, and we thought we might be cooking something. Oh boy, yep, we drew 1-1 that game. And in other seasons we've just lost. Like I said, the last time we beat them in general was 2021, Timo Werner 1-0. It was a cross tap in for him. That was under Thomas Tuchel. That was a couple of days before we actually went to face Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. So yeah, it's been a while since we beat West Ham at their ground, with fans in the stadium. So that's, to put into perspective, 2017 is a long time ago. I was like 14 years old. So how many years? 7 years ago. I was 14. I was 14. The last time we beat West Ham away from home. What? Like, what? I'm 21 now. Like, what is going on here? It's absolute madness. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough game tomorrow. They're actually a really, really good side. If we talk about West Ham really quickly, they're a good side. They've got good players. People are questioning whether the manager's right for them, Lopetegui, whether he's got the accolades, whether he's got the sort of style of play to get the best out of the players they've got. He's got to utilize Fulkrug, who they brought in. They had a good transfer window bringing him in, Wan-Bissaka in. They brought in Max Kilman from Wolves. They brought in a midfielder, Argentine midfielder. I forgot his name. I think he was from Real Betis, Rodriguez or something like that. And they've got other good players like Alvarez. They've got Kudus, of course, who's going to pose a massive threat. Bowen's going to pose a massive threat. So will Paqueta as well. These are top players, man. Somerville off the bench most likely will pose a threat as well. So West Ham on paper, people have got a lot of expectation for them. In terms of David Moyes has gone, they brought in Lopetegui, who sort of has prestige, experience, a winning manager, who they believe can take West Ham forward and make them a better team, make them play better football. And on paper, they look good. They look like they have a good team. Good goalkeeper, Areola. Emerson at left back. If not him, apparently he could be injured, could be Soufal. But, Wan-Bissaka, Max Kilman, Paqueta, these guys, even Souček, who I don't rate, but aerially he poses a massive threat. And one thing about West Ham tomorrow is, even though David Moyes is gone, under him, they were known for their physical presence. They were known for their aerial threat. And I still think they possess that threat. And that's something we have to look out for tomorrow. And when I talk about my lineup, you'll see in the back line why we have to sort of play certain players because of their set piece threat. They've got James Ward-Prowse as well, who's one of the best set piece takers in the league. Whether he'll start or not sure. But that's something we have to definitely look out for. They're a tough team in a tough ground for us, just historically not great. And listen, to be fair, I don't even like their ground. It's just terrible. I've never been to West Ham Stadium, but just looking at it from watching it on TV, don't like it. It's just not. It doesn't feel like a football stadium. Compared to Upton Park, where they were previously at, just doesn't feel like a football stadium. And the people I know that have been there and what I've seen online and reviews about the stadium itself, people don't even like it. You can barely even see the pitch apparently when you're there. As a viewer, it's like flipping miles away, it feels like. Do you know what I mean? So, hey, it's crazy, man. But in terms of Chelsea, look, Enzo Maresca done his press conference, said a few interesting things, obviously talking about Reece James and his injury and the concerns around that, saying, listen, we just got to be patient, just got to wait for him to recover, and stuff like that. He was talking about the overload of Cole Palmer, Wesley Fofana, Romeo Lavia, and the fact that they were left out of the Conference League squad because of the fact that Cole Palmer's played a lot of games over the past year, and he's going to play a lot of games this season. If he's fit, I expect him to start at least 35 Premier League games, Cole Palmer, at the very least starting. And he's going to play 90 minutes in majority of those games, I reckon. So he definitely has to be protected. Wesley Fofana, Romeo Lavia, they need to be protected as well. They've had big injuries. They're going to need time to sort of come back into full rhythm, full flow. So that makes sense as well. He also talked about his attackers and made it clear to the media that he sees Mudryk and Sancho as the left wingers, Neto and Madueke as the right wingers, Cole Palmer, João Felix as his number 10s, and obviously he's got Christopher Nkunku and Nicholas Jackson as his number 9s. And I think that makes sense. I think that's correct. He's right in saying that. I absolutely agree with everything he said. Now, just because he said that doesn't mean those players are only going to play in those positions. I believe you'll see Christopher Nkunku play up front and play in the 10. He did say that in the press conference. He said, not João Felix, Pedro Neto can play on the left and can play on the right wing. João Felix can play on the left. João Felix can play as a number 10. João Felix can play up front. I know he didn't say this in the press conference, but Nicholas Jackson can play out wide too, if needs be. So at the end of the day, as much as he knows, and he's profiling these players correctly, and I'm absolutely delighted that he's done that, there's going to be certain games, there's going to be certain circumstances, whether it's injuries or tactical, in which players are going to have to maybe not play in their best position, but because they can play there, they're going to have to play there because Enzo's going to need them to do a job. Neto, left wing, for example. He won't be as good there as he would be on the right, but if we need him to do a job there, he's going to have to. Same with Christopher Nkunku up front. I don't think Christopher Nkunku's a striker, and we're going to get into the lineup later, but I believe he has a role there, potentially. Do you know what I mean? But Christopher Nkunku can also play as a 10, can play on the left. Cole Palmer can play on the right-hand side. So there's versatility. These players can adapt. Sancho can play all across the front behind the striker, left, right, 10. So this is what I mean, man. So these are all things to consider and think about. But I'm happy that he made it clear as to where he sees these players in terms of their best position and where they will most likely be utilized in terms of majority of the season. So that's good to see. So yeah, let's get into the lineup and what I think Enzo Maresca is going to play. This is the lineup that I would like to see, and this is the lineup that I think he is going to play. I think Enzo Maresca is going to agree with your boy. So in goal, we have Robert Sanchez. You have your back four on paper of Cucurella, Levi Colwill, Tosin and Wesley Fofana as your right back. Midfield of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. The three behind the striker, Cole Palmer in the 10, Madueke on the right, Jadon Sancho on the left, and obviously we have Nicholas Jackson up front. Now, Enzo Fernandez is back after illness of last week. Drewsbury Hall was ill last week, so he's also back in contention. He's probably going to be on the bench tomorrow. I expect Enzo to start. He was ill, so nothing to do with fitness or anything like that. Caicedo's fine. I know Malo Gusto was training with the first team this week, but Enzo Maresca said in his press conference he's not ready. I assume it's the same for Romeo Lavia as well, especially if we're trying to manage his minutes and he's just come back off like a mini injury or like a precaution injury, whatever. So based on all of that, I've gone with this team. Now, in terms of the shape and how it's actually going to look, it's not going to be a straight up 4-2-3-1. It's going to be more of a 3-2-2. 3-2-2. Let me see if I can explain this right. So on paper, it looks like a 4-2-3-1, as explained. But in terms of the shape and tactically, you're going to see Marc Cucurella invert into midfield next to Caicedo, which will push Enzo up to be a more advanced 8, next to Cole Palmer, who's your number 10. You've then got Jadon Sancho on the left. You've got Noni on the right. You've got Jackson up front. You've got your back three. Wesley Fofana tucks in from a right back to a right centre-back. Tosin's a central defender, and Levi Cole is your left centre-back. Now, Tosin has to play in this game. If there's no Gusto, for me, Tosin absolutely must play. He must play for a couple reasons. The first reason, his height. Simple. Like, we're going to need his height tomorrow. We're genuinely going to need his height tomorrow to deal with those set-piece threats from West Ham United. They've got some tall boys. Paqueta is a threat from set pieces. Kilman will be a threat from set pieces. Souček, if he starts, will be a threat from set pieces. Alvarez as well. These guys. West Ham always pose a threat from set pieces, whether we like it or not. And our team, in terms of height, isn't the tallest in the world. So if there's ever an opportunity to get in some height in this team, we have to get some height in there. And for me, Tosin absolutely has to be in there. With him, there with Levi Colwill, who's great in the air, Fofana solid in the air, I think that's enough, alongside your Nicholas Jackson, who will come and help out defensively. I think those four in particular will be enough height-wise for us to deal with West Ham. The thing with West Ham is they're a very physical team, and one thing people criticize maybe with Chelsea and maybe things that Chelsea might lack is the physicality or the strength or the height of this team. Tosin will bring that, as well as on the ball. I just feel like he'll calm the game down. He's good on the ball. He makes the right decision. He's solid. And I just believe he'll make us tick in terms of how we want to play out from the back. One thing I will say, Wesley Fofana playing out from the back against Bournemouth wasn't great. I believe maybe if Fofana plays at right back, his style in terms of carrying the ball forward might be better for him, especially when we go into the shape of the three, in which he's the wide centre-back, he receives the ball, he can carry it forward. Levi Cole can do the line-breaking passes. Tosin can do a little bit of that as well, but be that leader, be commanding, be able to see everything, and just be a leader in a way. The Chelsea players already call Tosin Uncle Tosin, so that's a madness already. Cucurella will invert, but I'm also hoping he helps out Sancho tomorrow with the underlapping runs. We saw that against Bournemouth. Hopefully we see more of that. Hopefully Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez together have a good game. I love them both, but it just seems to me that their best games come without each other. They play well when the other's not playing, which is not good considering they both cost over 100 million. We need to see them both be able to prove to us that on a consistent basis, they can play well together. Because there's not many games where I've sat there and I've said Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez together as a midfield duo, they played well. There's not many times I've had the opportunity to say that, whether it's on here or online, social media, whatever. So we need top performances from them both tomorrow, especially if we want to win this game. Have to control that midfield, have to dominate it on the ball, spray those passes, be aggressive. You got Cucurella there for support as well. Congest that midfield. Do you know what I mean? And I would play Sancho on the left. Look, I think he's fit. I think he's ready. Enzo Maresca talked about him positively in the press conference, saying he's been working hard on and off the ball. And if that's the case, because there's this stigma around Jadon Sancho that he doesn't work hard off the ball enough, That's the narrative around him, and he's got to prove people wrong. And if Jadon Sancho can, help out the defense and track back, that's massive. That's definitely massive, because one thing about him, even Madueke, Sterling when he was here, these guys, they wouldn't track back as well. And Enzo Maresca, based on how he talks in press conferences, he really values the attackers helping out defensively. Because at the end of the day, the defenders do help out going forward offensively. So it's only right if the attackers help out defensively as well. Because West Ham will have their periods. They will. I'm hoping it's not a chaotic, crazy game tomorrow. I think it will be, though, unfortunately. But yeah, we're going to need everybody on it. And lastly, up front, Cole Palmer's a definite guaranteed. Some people want Neto to start tomorrow, but I think for now, let Madueke keep that spot for now. For now, I think he's in good enough form. I think he started the season well, had preseason as well. He's just, I think, fitter, in better form. Neto will get his chances, I'm absolutely sure of it. But for now, I'd keep Madueke there. And if he obviously doesn't play well, we have Neto we can bring off the bench. Look, if these guys don't even play well, the attacking players, man have got Neto, man have got Christopher Nkunku, man have got João Felix, and hell, man have got Mudryk as well, who I don't rate, but who knows, he could pose a threat. And lastly, Jackson up front. Now look, I know some people want Nkunku to start up front after his cameo against Bournemouth. Personally, I don't want Nkunku up front. I think this game right here is tailor-made for Jackson. Not even in terms of scoring. I think in terms of just causing problems to West Ham's defense. I honestly think he is the exact type of player they don't want to play. Right? Because Jackson will do the dirty side of what you need from a number 9. Whilst Christopher Nkunku, he's not gonna do that, and I don't think Christopher Nkunku's durable to do that. I don't think his style allows him to do that. Whilst Jackson, he can press like a madman. He'll drop deep. He'll hold the ball up. I think he can mentally and physically fatigue those West Ham defenders and just cause them all sorts of problems. Run down the channels. Jackson outside the box is almost like a complete centre forward in terms of, he'll dribble at you. He'll hold the ball up. He'll do flicks, tricks, skills. He'll flick it on. He'll run in behind. He'll run the channels. He'll do all sorts. He'll create space for others. And I think with all of that, I think Max Kilman and who will be the other centre-back? I forgot who it will be, but I don't think they're going to like that. And I genuinely think if you bring off Nkunku off the bench instead, in which these guys are mentally tired, they've got to deal with a different type of player who's got a good first touch, great in tight spaces, I believe Nkunku as a finisher as well, because his finishing's top quality, it's one of the best. I genuinely believe it's best suited for him right now to come off the bench as a centre forward. He comes onto the pitch as a centre forward. I wouldn't start him from the get-go tomorrow. And plus, I would prefer, if we're chasing the game, or if we need a goal in the game, that Nkunku comes on rather than Jackson, if we need a goal. Let Jackson start. Let him give them 60, 70 minutes of just chaos, trouble, and hopefully he just wears them down. So then when Nkunku comes on with that burst of energy, he just uses his technical quality and his quality in tight space to sort of maneuver his way into the box, be sort of like a ghost in a way, and maybe he scores a goal for us. That's how I would sort of deal with that striker situation. Because if Nkunku starts and it doesn't go well for us, I don't want Jackson to come on. And if Jackson does come on, I'd want Nkunku to stay on the pitch. Whilst if we're chasing the game and Jackson's starting, I would want Jackson to come off and Nkunku to come on rather than them both together. If that makes sense to you guys. In terms of tactically and even the energy and how the game's gone, it's all very technical for me. So, yeah, that's the team I think Maresca's going to play tomorrow. If things don't go well, Nkunku can come on. Pedro Neto can come on. João Felix can come on. There's Mudryk there. There's Drewsbury Hall on the bench. If Akani makes the bench, he could be there as well. There's different makers we have, guys. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. I'm hoping for the win. We don't have a good record there. We basically won there twice since they moved into the London Stadium in 2016. That's madness. 2 wins at the London Stadium since they moved there. They moved there in 2016, guys. That was 8 years ago. 2 wins in 8 years at the London Stadium. That is a bogey ground, bruv. So hopefully tomorrow we can win. And I'm gonna go with a scoreline of, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I think with the firepower we've got, 3-2 Chelsea. Surely. Somebody off the bench will make that impact. When we need that goal. Could be a João Felix, a Neto. But hopefully the players on the pitch get the job done. Hopefully Madueke and Cole Palmer, they link up well. Sancho Palmer, Sancho Cucurella. You know. Hopefully the understanding and the chemistry of this team just gets better and better as the season goes on. And hopefully it starts with tomorrow. So, yeah. That's it for your video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the match review. Hopefully Chelsea are beating West Ham at the London Stadium for the first time in... Well, first time in 3 years, if we're counting just in general. But with fans in the crowd, it'll be the first time in 7 years. If I'm not wrong. 3, 4, yeah, 7 years. So, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the match review. Take care, have a good night, and peace.